Yeah, well, I could be simple. I could say transparency matters, but I think also that it's extremely hard to get people to understand information that is being provided to them. So it's not enough throwing information at people. It's also important that they actually receive and process this information. And it's sometimes much harder than you think. Well, think about, you'd want to buy or invest into a firm, and then you see, well, I don't really know anything about that firm. So maybe you don't invest, right? So you rather stay with what you know. And this is, of course, bad, because maybe the firm has a perfect idea and needs financing. So there you have this, what we call an economic friction. And accounting's first nature is, well, let's throw information at this friction, and then we see whether the firm actually succeeds in getting financing. Yeah, so we are interested in how non-financial investors actually perceive and use information. For example, consumers, right? When they make very simple choices. So, and the question is whether they can process relatively complex numerical information, or whether they make better decisions when they receive simple, let's say, contextual information or color cues or something like this. So, for example, in a food setting, right? So you want to choose a dish. You're interested whether it has a high or low carbon footprint. So what kind of information helps you to make a better informed decision in such a decision? What we actually do is we run experiments, field experiments, where we actually provide people with this information, and then we try to understand what the effect of this information is on consumption behavior, for example. We also do work on firms, but this is an example where we actually work with consumers. Yeah, so one remark about transparency in general, it's always easy for an accountant to think about transparency is always good, right? But there's a little bit of a yin and yang aspect of transparency. And this is also exciting to think about. So sometimes transparency can actually all be bad, right? So, and I would love to learn more about, what separates these situations. So when is transparency actually a good thing and helps exchange, and when is transparency actually diametral and reduces the efficiency of organizations? That's a cool question.